that all men have inalienable rights to think freely, to talk freely, to write freely their own opinions, and to counter or utter or write upon the opinions of others.
This is from the Creed of the Church of Scientology.
Hey everybody, I'm Holly, aka the ScientoloGeek, and I want to welcome you all to the 21st episode of going over the Student Hat series. I was about to say data series. But either way, today we're going to be covering Method 3 word clearing and how to do it properly. Now, we already covered Method 9. We're not going to cover every single method from 1 to 9. I think this is the only other method that I'm going to be mentioning for the last few videos that we have. I'm looking forward to getting this series over with, and I hope you guys are too, just so we can move on to something a little bit more interesting. If you guys want access to any of the documentation that I have, whether that be flag orders, base orders, bulletins, policy letters, whatever, feel free to hit me up at scientologeek@gmail.com or go to the Discord server, link in the description below, and I will send you the invite if I get a valid Gmail address from you. Or just stop by the server, become a member, and just say hi. It'd be cool to have you. Without any further ado, let's get started. This is the HCO Bulletin of the 7th of October, 1981, revised the 30th of August, 1983. This is called Method 3 Word Clearing and is part of Word Clearing Series and is labeled number 31, RD. It cancels the following 4 board technical bulletins. Method 3 Word Clearing by the student's twin. Method 3 Word Clearing by the student's twin. What? Oh, revised. Method 3 Word Clearing and Method 3 Word Clearing RA and RB. Oh, and then the HCOB, Method 3 Word Clearing, RC. Okay, so that was... You had one revision, 31 and 31R. And then for 31RA, RB, RC, those are 3 additional revisions on top of a revised. That's just crazy that they edited it like 3 times. No, wait. Hold on, you got 31. So there's no editing there. 31R, 31RA, RB, RC. 4 times it had been rewritten before getting to RC. No, RC was the 4th time.
This HCO bulletin is based on my 1971 and 1972 technical notes on word clearing. It was originally compiled and released as an HCOB in 1972 with my approval. The original bulletin was later reissued as a board technical bulletin. 2 subsequent revisions of the BTB and a later 1981 conversion of the issue to an HCOB were never approved or seen by me. Therefore, this HCOB is revised in 1983. A. Incorporates all of the data in the original issue. B. Updates it to align with HCOB twinning and to include additional data on word clearing tech and additional references.
Okay, you know what? I'm sick of reading these already. I'm not reading more.
Definition. Method 3 word clearing is the method of finding a student's misunderstood word by having him look earlier in the text than where he is having trouble for a word he doesn't understand. An FNing student is one who is tearing along successfully in his studies. One must know how to keep a student FNing. This is the responsibility of the supervisor and the student himself. On any course where students are twinned, it is also the responsibility of the twin. A student who uses study tech will look up each word he comes to that he doesn't understand and will never leave a word behind him that he doesn't know the meaning of. If he runs into trouble, the student himself, the supervisor, or the twin would handle anything that slowed or interfered with the student's floating needle. This is often most simply done with Method 3 word clearing. Students don't put themselves or each other on a meter to locate a misunderstood word. They use Method 3 procedure as described below. It doesn't require a meter, though the supervisor or word clearer may meter a student to find his misunderstood word should it become necessary. Method 3 does, however, require a good understanding of the following theory and procedure. Using dope-off as the only detection of misunderstoods is operating at below FN level. The FN went off long before the student reached the point of dope-off, so waiting for dope-off to occur before handling is waiting too long. As soon as the student's study stats drop for half a day or he isn't quite so bright as he was 15 minutes ago, is the time to look for the misunderstood word. It's not a misunderstood phrase or idea or concept, but a misunderstood word.
How do you know this? Why? Why is it the word? Why is it not a phrase, idea, or a concept?
This always occurs before the subject itself is not understood.
He just so many claims that don't need to be made. Not just the fact that they're not true, no one gives a fucking shit.
Method 3 style word clearing procedure. One, the student's not flying along and isn't so bright as he was, or he may exhibit just plain lack of enthusiasm, or be taking too long on the check sheet, or be yawning, or disinterested, or doodling, or daydreaming, etc. Two, the student must then look earlier in the text for a misunderstood word. There is one always, there are no exceptions. It may be that the misunderstood word is 2 pages or more back, but it is always earlier in the text than where the student is now. The word is found, the student recognizes it in looking back for it. Or if the student can't find it, one can take words from the text that could be the misunderstood word and ask, what does blank mean, to see if the student gives the correct definition. Or the student looks up the word found in a dictionary and clears it per HCOB, clearing words. He uses it verbally several times in sentences of his own composition until he has obviously demonstrated he understands the word by the composition of his sentences. The student now reads the text that contained the misunderstood word. If he is not now bright, quote unquote, eager to get on with it, back up tone, etc., then there is another misunderstood word earlier in the text. This is found by repeating steps 2 through 5. 6. When the student is bright, up tone, etc., an FNing student, he is told to come forward, studying the text from where the misunderstood word was to the area of the subject he did not understand, where step 1 began. The student will now be enthusiastic with his study of the subject, and that is the end result of method 3. The result won't be achieved if a misunderstood word was missed or if there is an earlier misunderstood word in the text. If so, repeat steps 2 to 5. If the student is now enthusiastic, have him continue with studying. Students do not have to be word cleared method 2 on the total of any course. However, should it happen that the word cannot be found with method 3, then it would be permissible to use one or more of the other methods of word clearing to get the word found. Good word clearing is a system of backtracking. You have to look earlier than the point where the student became dull or confused, and you'll find that there's a word that he doesn't understand somewhere before the trouble started. If he doesn't brighten up when the word is found and cleared, there will be a misunderstood word even before that one. This will be very clear to you if you understand that if it is not resolving, the thing the student is apparently having trouble with is not the thing the student is having trouble with. Otherwise, it would resolve, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if your system actually fucking worked, yeah, it would.
If he knew what he didn't understand, he could resolve it himself. So to talk to him about what he thinks he doesn't understand just gets nowhere. The trouble is earlier. Zeroing in on the word. The formula is to find out where the student wasn't having any trouble and find out where the student is now having trouble, and the misunderstood word will be in between. It'll be at the tag end of where he wasn't having trouble. See Study Tape 4, Study Gradients and Nomenclature, and the policy letter called Supervisor Know-How Tips in Handling Students. Method 3 is tremendously effective when done as described herein, so get a good reality on it and become expert in its use. Use it to keep Scientology working.
So what did we cover today? We learned that a FNing student is able to go through his study successfully. We've learned that method 3 is done without a meter. We learned that when it comes to misunderstoods, it's always a word that is causing the student trouble and not a phrase, idea, or a concept. Dope off, which is like when the student starts kind of dozing off, is a very late physiological reaction. It usually takes a while for this effect to start happening after an MU has been missed. So if you're trying to go just based off this, it's not going to be the best for you. Remember, everything I say is how Hubbard phrases it and how Hubbard believes it. So don't quote me on believing that any of this is right. The steps to method 3 are, it always starts with the physiological reaction of the student. The student must now look earlier in the text for a misunderstood word. If he can't find it, then spot checking is usually done. Followed by the protocol as per the bulletin called Clearing Words, which teaches a student how to clear words in a dictionary. And if the student isn't FNing at this point, there's an earlier misunderstood that they now need to find, and repeat the steps above to find and clear it. When the student finally is FNing, is uptone, he is to now study from the area of the misunderstood word to the area that he did not understand. Students do not need to be word cleared via method 2 through the total of any course. If a word cannot be found with method 3, other methods, usually on the meter, would be used to find the word. He has something that he wrote in all caps, which of course I'm going to say word for word. If it is not resolving, the thing the student is apparently having trouble with is not the thing the student is having trouble with. So take that as you will. A misunderstood is always in between where a student was last doing well and the present moment where he's showing non-optimum reactions. It's pretty standard stuff for word clearing, but if you guys like what I do. I never know how to end these episodes. But if you guys like what I do, feel free to hit the like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, share with your friends and family or other weird groups of interest that you are connected to. But I will talk to all of you later. See ya.